Sharing is caring for a baby raccoon named Mosca and his best friend, a puppy named Brashka. The baby animals, now about 3 months old each, not only share their enclosure, but toys and food as well. They even share some behaviors and habits. The raccoon used to only take a bottle until meeting his canine friend, who taught him to eat solid food. The pup, on the other hand, tried to imitate the raccoon by climbing on people and things. Keepers at the zoo in Siberia say they'll keep the two together as long as they get along with each other. There's a lesson to be learned here.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
That's a strange friendship, that's for sure.
It's very different. I've never seen anything like that before.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everybody. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, UW-Madison investigating after some racist posters were placed around campus.
Plus, students and teachers at Madison West High School are protesting after a security guard was fired for using a racial slur. How the district is responding.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. The UW-Madison investigating a series of posters placed around campus displaying messages of exclusion, even racism.
Gabriela Buquera shares how the university, students, and community are responding to these messages. Gabby?
UW-Madison says the posters raised concerns about safety and campus values, adding that UW-Madison stands against racism and all other forms of hate and any kind of messages of exclusion. Now, students say they're hoping this opens the opportunity for difficult discussions.
Only a small piece of paper now remains where a sign reading UW for whites only was posted.
I hope it is a call to change. I hope it'll actually result in some change in behavior and attitude in general.
At first, UW-Madison senior Jeremy Sanford says he was upset about the signs, but had a change of heart.
Given the reasons behind the protest, I think it's a net positive, as it'll potentially spur conversation about discrimination that POC face on campus.
UW-Madison says these posters appear to be a part of a coordinated campaign calling attention to experiences of underrepresented students.
With the policies that exist today and with a lot of incidences that happen, it just hasn't surprised me that, statements like this would have been posted, whether in protest or, to kind of make us sign of hatred.
Dane County Equal Opportunities Commission Vice Chair Jose Reyes says acts like this one is a call for more equality in and around Madison.
To be more equity when it comes to the resources that are distributed in the city.
And Sanford is hoping that people will look beyond the posters and see the deeper message.
They need to see that it is a good message, that we need to be talking about these things and having these conversations, these difficult conversations that are uncomfortable to have in a place like Wisconsin, but it's necessary in order to improve the campus environment for everyone.
UW-Madison says that while they support the right of freedom of expression, the university has policies that prohibit the posting of unauthorized material on campus property, and they will follow up as they see appropriate.
All right, Gabriela Buquera reporting for us tonight. Thank you, Gabby.
Well, this just in from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. The Boys and Girls Club of Dane County has announced Marlon Anderson will serve in a temporary role with the club until his appeal is finalized with the school district. Anderson, a security assistant at Madison West, was fired Wednesday for using the N-word to ask a student to stop calling him by that word. Anderson has been hired as the club's director of program operations, managing volunteer engagement, special initiatives, and teen recruitment. He'll start in that new position on Monday.
Meanwhile, the school district is responding after students and teachers walked out of West High School to protest Anderson's firing.
And Jamie Perez was at that protest this morning, and she joins us live with more on what came out of it today. Jamie?
The students and teachers all started here at the steps of West High before making a 2-mile march to the district administration office, where student leaders, some of them went into the building and actually talked to them about their decision to fire Marlon and to ask them to review their zero tolerance policy, although most students just stayed outside and chanted in protest. Here's a bit of video from that earlier today. Marlon's son was actually leading the protest today. He said his dad was humbled by the number of people who showed up on his behalf. He also said that he felt that their conversation with the district administrators went well, and he felt that their voices were heard. We spoke with the interim superintendent, Jane Belmore, and Board of Education President Gloria Reyes after their meeting to talk about their response to what happened today.
They have brought to our attention things that we had not thought about. They are educating us, right? They are our future, and we have to consider them in making decisions and policies that impact them directly.
Gloria Reyes also said they are speeding up the process of reviewing the situation surrounding Marlon Anderson's termination and also reviewing their zero tolerance policy. They're all meeting again next week to talk more about it and to get a resolution out as soon as possible. And they also mentioned that they're currently in the process of reviewing an appeal by a teacher who was fired for a similar situation that happened last year. But again, they're still in the review process. And as I mentioned, they are meeting several days next week, so we will keep you updated as information from those meetings comes out.
All right, Jamie Perez live at Madison West. Jamie, thank you. And in response to Anderson's firing, singer Cher tweeted that she would incur any expenses for anyone who sued the school district board of education. MMSD has a zero tolerance policy for staff using the racial slur leading to Anderson's termination. All right, let's get a look at First Alert weather as we head to the weekend. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us from the outdoor weather patio. Dave, beautiful Friday afternoon.
Yeah, not much to complain about on this Friday with temperatures in the low 60s across much of southern Wisconsin and plenty of sunshine. We will get the shower chances back with us as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Let's go ahead and take a look at Madison on the Edgewater sky cam. That sun shining brightly in the sky overlooking downtown Madison and Lake Mendota there. Temperatures right now are in the upper 50s in Madison, low 60s in Platteville, and mid 60s in Boscobel. Janesville at 61 degrees. It's been a breezy day with those southeasterly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting closer to 25 still across portions of southwestern Wisconsin. That breeze gets a little bit better tonight. Temperatures fall into the upper 40s with increasing clouds. We will see the chance of some showers tomorrow. We'll time all that out, plus talk about nice weather returning Sunday in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. A fire at the Madison Mallard Stadium is being investigated tonight as an arson. Firefighters were called out to the stadium on Sherman Avenue just before 10 o'clock last night. They arrived to find the gift shop at the stadium on fire. Firefighters were able to put that fire out quickly, but flare-ups continued early this morning. The building suffered significant damage that includes a roof collapse. The Mallard's general manager says the merchandise store has a lot of history, too.
We did the big stadium renovation, so the siding of that building is all the bleachers, you know, basically the seats from the old bleachers, and the wood actually was the wood structure as well from the old bleachers. So, well, you know, we're disappointed to lose the kind of old history of the ballpark. You know, that building was really unique, but you know, we'll be all right.
No one was injured in that fire. The Madison Police Department, ATF agents, as well as state investigators are all helping look into the possible arson.
Next at 5, Antonio Gentry will spend 30 years in prison.
That's the 37-year-old man who shot and killed Rayshawn Jackson in Madison last May. Amanda Quintana is here with details on today's sentencing. Amanda?
Gentry pleaded guilty in August to 3 of the 10 counts he was charged with, including second-degree intentional homicide, felony possession of a firearm, and armed robbery. Gentry, a now 13-time convicted felon, shot 24-year-old Jackson in the back of the head. Jackson's family saying the two had a history of violence stemming from a romantic relationship with the same woman. In court, Gentry brought up the fact that he thought Jackson had sexually assaulted his 5-year-old daughter, his attorney calling this a, quote, imperfect self-defense case.
My point for this address is to shed some light on what happened with myself and Rayshawn. I do not wish trying to shift the blame for what I've done. But this was not a gang war, a street fight, or a calculated incident. My reason for shooting Rayshawn is because I fear for my life.
The judge saying despite Gentry growing up in poverty, surrounded by traumatic experiences, he has been given many chances, and the only way to make sure he doesn't harm others is to take him out of the community for a significant amount of time. The sentence includes 25 years for the homicide charge plus 5 for possessing a gun. The 10 years given for armed robbery will be served concurrently.
All right, Amanda, thank you for that update.
Police arrested one man after shots were fired last night on Langdon Street. 28-year-old Brandon Buckner Sr. was arrested. Police said the dispute started in a second-floor apartment on Langdon. 2 men fled into a nearby alley where shots were fired from at least 2 weapons. According to police, bullets and shell casings were recovered at the scene. 1 bullet pierced a nearby office window, but no one was hurt. Buckner Sr. was arrested for second-degree reckless endangering safety.
We hope to learn more about a health inspection at a popular East Side restaurant after a deep fryer caught fire last night. The Madison Fire Department says that fire broke out at Ha Long Bay on Willie Street right around 10:30. Employees initially tried using extinguishers, but it took firefighters using another dry chemical extinguisher to put it out. This is the same restaurant that was seriously damaged last year when an SUV drove into the building, forcing it to shut down for months.
The rebuild of Middleton's Pheasant Branch Conservancy gets a major financial boost today. Dane County awarding $500,000 from the 2019 Park and Trail Flood Repair Grant Program. That's to cover flood damage for the 2018 summer season in the Pheasant Branch Conservancy Creek Corridor. And that's on top of $400 grand already set aside by the county in next year's budget. And in addition, the city received $328,000 to cover expenses already incurred due to the flooding. Plans are now in the works for how to rebuild, and work should begin in earnest next year.
At the end of the day, we're all one community. And if we partner together and focus our efforts and our resources on doing what's right for the entire community, we can get a lot done.
Engineers and ecology experts are currently studying the terrain to stabilize the stream banks and also revegetate the conservancy. After that study, they'll have a better idea for the timetable on construction.
Some Wisconsin hemp farmers say they're out thousands of dollars after having to destroy their crop that tested over the legal limit for THC. Because of the rules with the overseeing agency, any hemp that tests over 0.3% THC must be destroyed. To make sure farmers are sticking to that level, a worker with the state has to come test out the crop. Some farmers this year are saying the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection wasn't consistent in how long this process would take. Because there's only a short window to harvest the crop before it goes over the limit, some say this caused their crop to fail the test. DATCAP says, though, they tried to do their best, but with so many more growers in the program this year, it was tough to navigate.
It's part of the high-risk nature of this crop right now. I think in time, that risk will decline as we learn more and get a better understanding of how these plants do in the state of Wisconsin. But there's no question, this is still a high-risk crop and a high-risk endeavor to venture into.
This is one of many parts of the program DATCAP is looking into for next year's program. They say anyone with recommendations or questions can reach out to them. They plan on taking applications for next year's hemp harvest starting November 1st. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and this weekend, a pizza chain in our area is teaming up with a national organization to do something good. Tomorrow, Mod Pizza locations across the U.S., including 2 in Madison and 1 in Fitchburg, will donate 20% of all sales to Best Buddies International. Best Buddies helps people with intellectual and developmental disabilities find work.
Everyone wants a place to belong, and that's what Mod gives people, is a place to belong. You know, whether you're a customer or you're coming in as an employee, you want to belong wherever you are, you know, and so Mod is very centered on that, is just to have a place where everyone belongs.
Mod says they will donate a minimum of $50,000 to the Best Buddies Jobs program. In return, Best Buddies will provide Mod stores with training tools to help hire people of all abilities. So far, the company has hired 300 employees with disabilities.
Packers will be without their leading receiver for the 3rd consecutive week. Devontae Adams listed as out on the latest injury report as he battles turf toe. Packers might also be without their number 2 and number 3 receivers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling listed as questionable. Geronimo Allison is listed as doubtful for Sunday's game against the Oakland Raiders. Earlier this week, Green Bay did sign former Raiders receiver Ryan Grant. The Packers will take on the Raiders Lambeau Sunday, noon kickoff right here on News 3 Now. And tonight's Prep Mania High School Football Game of the Week. It is a huge one. First place in the Badger North on the line. Undefeated Waunakee, undefeated DeForest, Jay Wilson, Bill Brophy, Alan Minert. They'll have the call of the game tonight live at 7 o'clock, channel3000.com. We'll also be streaming the Madison West and Sun Prairie game and the Monona Grove Stoughton game as well.
A reminder to our viewers that if you have a TV in the home that uses an antenna, not cable or satellite, you will need to rescan that television. Our signal is moving to a new frequency today. Right now, we have a phone bank open to answer your questions and guide you through the rescan process. We know it can be a bit confusing. The number is 274-4000. It's open until 6:30 tonight, so about another hour and 15 minutes. You can also find instructions on channel3000.com.
We know that's been frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, a ton of calls today, so please use that resource and please check channel3000.com if you have any questions.
And we appreciate your patience as well. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, the president stands by his acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, while lawmakers are split over Mulvaney's messaging.
And ahead tonight at 6, a run walk in Portage is raising awareness about addiction. We will look ahead to that event. That's at 6.
And the week ends on a down note for the markets. Once again, the Dow plummeting 256 points. The Nasdaq loses 67. S&P falls a dozen. We'll be right back. On Capitol Hill, the House impeachment investigation continues as the president defends his acting chief of staff after comments he made about relations with Ukraine.
In a briefing yesterday, Mick Mulvaney implied the U.S. would have withheld military aid in 2016 if Ukraine did not keep investigating a Democratic computer server. Now, Mulvaney denied that, saying in a statement that there was absolutely no quid pro quo and the president never told him to withhold any money over a computer server. Meanwhile, lawmakers continue to argue over the impeachment process.
Our side cannot call witnesses. You think that's fair?
When we were in the minority, we were not allowed to do what you are requesting to do. We were not allowed to do it.
We never tried to impeach a president, with all due respect.
Rules, Mr.
9 Republicans have sent a letter to House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff documenting their concerns with the impeachment inquiry. Meteorologists are keeping an eye on what's now a tropical storm moving through the Gulf of Mexico. The National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Nestor will likely bring high winds and dangerous storm surges to parts of Florida, Alabama, and Georgia, but those conditions are expected to deteriorate overnight as the system heads toward the Carolinas. No such Worries in our neck of the woods. Let's turn it over to meteorologist Dave Caulfield with a look at our forecast here in southern Wisconsin. Dave?
Well, Danica, a couple of showers are possible tomorrow, but generally this weekend is looking great across southern Wisconsin. Speaking of things looking great, check out this sunrise from Monona Bay this morning. Chris sending this in. The colors this morning were unbelievable no matter where you looked. Thank you so much for sending in this photo. We love to see your photos. And here's our time lapse from our WISC-TV Skycam this morning of those colors, that sunshine hitting those higher cirrus clouds just right to create those beautiful hues of purple and pink. Right now, still seeing a lot of sunshine in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Looking out at the west side of Madison, temperatures in the upper 50s. We'll probably hit a high once the evening update comes out of about 60 degrees, but still breezy out there. South-southeast wind at 16 miles per hour. And we've seen wind gusts of about 20 to 25 miles per hour across much of southern Wisconsin, closer to the Mississippi River Valley. Those gusts a little bit closer to 30 miles per hour. The wind is starting to get a little bit better, but still seeing gusts of about 20 to 30 miles per hour this early evening. Temperatures across the area are in the mid to upper 50s, even a few low 60s still out there in Janesville, Boscobel, and Prairie du Chien in the mid 60s. So for Friday night football, after a couple of weeks where the weather was pretty tough, we get a reward this Friday. Temperatures falling slowly through the 50s with partly cloudy skies. Still a little bit on the breezy side, but definitely better compared to earlier today. No rain to worry about. Winds out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, our high temperature trend, we're staying a little bit above, if not right at where we should be for this time of year this weekend and into the start of next week. But it does look like chillier temperatures are on the way, especially for next weekend. Highs only in the low 40s for next Friday. We will see partly sunny skies for that period, but it's going to take a little bit more help to get those temperatures back up into the 50s. So let's enjoy these temps near 60 while we have them. We'll be in the upper 40s tonight, partly cloudy, not as cool outside, because remember, our low temperatures today dipped into the low 30s in some spots, pretty close to the freezing mark with those mostly clear skies. So starting off in the upper 40s for tomorrow, we can see the clouds on the increase. Here's our cold front on the way. And I think really as it gets closer to Madison, note the time here, folks. This is during the afternoon and early evening hours where spots across south central Wisconsin have the best chance of seeing some light shower activity. Notice how it weakens as it moves across the area. So as we get into Sunday, we don't need to worry about any rain at all. In fact, Sunday is going to be the best day of the weekend with temperatures in the lower 60s with plenty of sunshine. So for much of the area, as far as rain totals go for tomorrow, generally looking less than 1/10 of an inch. Now that number could be a little bit higher closer to the Mississippi River, but not too much to worry about. Then the rest of the 10-day forecast showing temperatures in the upper 50s with a chance of some showers and thunderstorms on Monday. Those showers could produce about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of rain across the area. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Also keeping an eye on traffic this evening as we take a look at your first alert traffic update. Todd Drive and the Beltline seeing that slow go in both directions. We have had a few incidents pop up west of Madison, specifically on the Beltline southbound. There's an accident at Whitney Way, so that is causing some backups there. Right now, eastbound University Ave to the interstate is definitely running tardy. 31 minutes with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. Some other routes in and around Madison, westbound Milton to Sauk City, almost an hour right now. So you may want to delay your travel there or find an alternate route for the time being with an average speed only around 20 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, how women are making history in space. The story after a short break.
We start right now with a first alert traffic alert. We want to let you know all lanes westbound on 12 at County Road K are closed right now. We have learned that a deputy has been pinned in a crash there. There was a rollover accident right around 5 o'clock this evening. That person has been extricated. We are waiting to learn more, but we will be sure to bring you that as soon as we can. History was made today with the first all-female spacewalk.
Astronauts Christina Cook and Jessica Meyer made their way outside the International Space Station to replace a battery today. The first all-female spacewalk was supposed to happen back in March with Cook and astronaut Anne McClain, but only one medium-sized torso spacesuit was available, so both women could not participate. Since then, NASA designed a more one-size-fits-all spacesuit, making way for today's historic spacewalk.
Really just us doing our job. At the same time, we recognize that it is a historic achievement, and we do, of course, want to give credit to all of those that came before us.
And Christina Cook, by the way, 7 months into an 11-month space flight that will be the longest ever by a woman.
Impressive. Here is a dream job for any of you Disney fans out there. You can earn $1,000 just by watching the company's beloved movies. Media site reviews.org says it's looking for the biggest, baddest Disney fans to watch and review 30 Disney movies or TV shows. To apply for the job, you have to be at least 18 years old and a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. You also have to submit a sample video review of your favorite Disney movie and share details about your social media following. In addition to the $1,000 payday, the dream job candidates also get a free year of Disney Plus.
All right, stay with us. We're going to have a final check of your weekend forecast in just a moment. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield looking at the weekend.
Finally, we get a nice Friday night for folks to enjoy. And the weekend not looking bad at all. We may have to deal with a couple of showers tomorrow afternoon, but that's tomorrow afternoon. We'll focus on right now. Temps still in the upper 50s and low 60s. For the football games tonight, I think those temperatures will fall through the low 50s, eventually getting into the upper 40s to start off Saturday. Highs tomorrow in the upper 50s with those showers rolling through during the afternoon and early evening hours. Nice on Sunday, and then potentially about a quarter to a half an inch of rain with those showers and storms on Monday.
All right, we'll have more updates on News 3 Now at 6 and 30 minutes. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.